Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today's June 28th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see we've got some onshore flow, some clouds still around, but we've got this ridge building out over the Pacific Ocean that's going to move over and act as a protective shield here for the Pacific Northwest for a few days, allow us to warm up. And we'll take a look at the extended forecast, which does include the 4th of July here as well. Now taking a look at where we are this morning, look at the Willamette Valley, nice and sunny this morning. Western Washington, not so much. You can see the clouds still socked in a little bit here. Heard some reports of some drizzle and whatnot falling generally north of Seattle here across western Washington, some of southwest BC dealing with those clouds as well. Lightning strikes over the last 24 hours, nothing for Washington, Oregon, or Idaho. You had to go across some of the interior mountains there of British Columbia to get into that activity. If you want, you can go to the Patreon page and send me some of your images there as well. It's free to sign up, or you can also help support the channel on the Patreon page there as well. Link is down below. Now, here we go. Inland Northwest, National Weather Service Spokane. Look at the warming trend here as we go through Tuesday. We start to cool down a bit here by the time we get towards Wednesday. But you're going to get the gist of this. Tuesday, probably the warmest day east of the mountains, and we're going to warm up elsewhere. I'll show you those temperatures here in a moment. This is Storm Prediction Center. General thunderstorm risk there across some portions of Montana, maybe just clipping Idaho for today. Now, looking at the upper levels of the atmosphere, 18,000 feet. Look at that ridge build here across the Pacific Northwest, all the way up into western Canada. The trough is out over the Gulf of Alaska, back down across the Pacific Ocean. We scroll off in towards next week. We're now on into Tuesday. You see the ridge starting to kick its way off to the east, and we got another system trying to roll in here as we go on in through the day Wednesday. That is July 3rd on Thursday. Now we go off into Friday, July 4th, and we start to show a little bit of some ridging here, but there's also a trough here across the Gulf of Alaska. I'll show you that here in the extended forecast. We're getting closer to be able to see that 4th of July forecast and get a little bit of confidence in what is coming. Now look at 100-meter wind speeds. So you can see the onshore flow as we go through the day today, but you'll see this start to reverse. You can see some weak offshore flow starting to happen. The north winds down the Puget Sound, down the Willamette Valley, down the coastal areas here, just ever so slightly offshore across the region, and we go through Monday, something similar. But by the time we get towards the mid portion of next week, we're going to kick that onshore flow back up again. You can kind of see a little bit of a system right there off the coastline there, kind of moving in there as well. Might bring some precipitation across the region. We'll check that out here starting right now. Here we go. So we're scrolling through Saturday, Sunday. We're now into Monday here, and you can see maybe a few thunderstorms popping off across some of the southern Oregon Cascades, maybe a shower across the Olympic Mountains. Not much to speak about, but you could get some lightning strike activity with that on the day Monday. We go through Tuesday, there's something similar going on across some portions of Idaho. And again, some of the Cascades, maybe into the central Cascades of Oregon as well, maybe even eastern Oregon. We'll look at that a little bit closer as we get closer to that event here over the next couple of days with some of the high resolution models as well. And then you can see the next system kind of moving in here, bringing some precipitation there as we go through the day Wednesday night, and on into Thursday, some showers still around. And that only brings us through July 3rd nighttime. So 4th of July forecast still yet to come. So looking here over the next 6 days or so, you can see that system bringing some precipitation. It's not a lot. It brings a few hundredths of an inch to Seattle. Not much for western Oregon, but some of those thunderstorms will bring some better amounts across some of the Cascades of Oregon. And if you go up across western Canada, which is pretty typical for the summertime there, you're getting more precipitation, of course, compared to Washington and Oregon. Now, looking at daily 2-meter max temperature Saturday, June 28th there. First for Seattle, some lower 70s out there, maybe up towards 80 for Portland. Low 70s there for Southwest BC as well. We go to Sunday. Look at that warm up starting there. Seattle getting back up towards 80 maybe. There's Monday, Seattle 83, 100 starting to pop off there towards the Tri-Cities. And then we go towards Tuesday, still pretty warm for Seattle. We start to cool things back down a bit here as we go through the mid and end portion of next week with that trough around. This is the 4th of July, though. Look at 76, pretty darn right comfortable. Nothing too hot and no big storm or anything like that. It doesn't look like right now, but we'll show you here the extended forecast in a moment. Then we go to July 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, kind of seasonable temperatures there. Now, looking at the artificial intelligence model, there goes the ridge. Then we start to bring this next trough in here. That is July 2nd nighttime. We go to July 3rd nighttime right there. So here is the 4th of July right about there. That's when the fireworks are going off. You can see we got the system into western Canada. Little hint of some kind of ridging there, but there's the trough nearby. So we're still not that clear on what is coming here for the 4th of July. And I also want to show you the artificial intelligence ensemble mean versus the European ensemble mean here. We'll take a look at that. You can see the ridge initially, and then both models in pretty good agreement of some kind of troughing coming through on the 3rd. And they kind of generally show this zonal flow as we go through the 4th of July. So no big heat dome or anything like that. No big washout. It doesn't look like right now, but there is a potential for some clouds to be about, maybe some showers across some of the area. And you can see pretty good agreement through hour 174. And I've been testing the European ensemble mean artificial intelligence versus the European ensemble mean, which is really the gold standard for 500 millibars, 18,000 feet ridge and trough position. So it looks pretty good through hour 174. We go out into the future a little bit more, and it's not showing anything too crazy here. So it might be a nice effective tool if it continues to line up with what the European ensemble mean is showing. Then we can compare it from there in the future. Now, actually, I want to back up here 1 second because I do want to bring this up. I want to bring up the artificial intelligence, and we're going to take a look at precipitation. I want to show what it does show for the 4th of July. And we're going to go in a little bit further here. We're going to go to Pacific Northwest, and let's scroll through there. We're going to back up towards the 4th of July. What did it show as far as precipitation is concerned? So there we are. That's about firework time right here. And it doesn't show any precipitation for Seattle, Southwest BC. Maybe if you go farther up across Western Canada, but Portland, Spokane, Pendleton, Bend, Oregon, out there, Boise, it looks generally precipitation free right now. We'll see if that changes here over the next few days. Now, average max temperature departure from average since April 1st, Pacific Northwest, we've been well above normal for virtually the entire region. Since the water year started here, you can see Western Washington, Western Oregon not doing too hot, but it's more of a mixed bag since October 1st. First, look at the average, the percent of average precipitation since January 1st has just been kind of dismal here for much of Washington state. And same thing for Oregon. Some of the Cascades have been above normal, but for Portland, some of the North Oregon Cascades, Northeast Oregon has been well below normal since January 1st. And look at this one, April 1st, just kind of a grim looking picture, well below normal across the entire state of Washington, the entire state of Oregon, just substantially below normal since April 1st. And if we take a look at this was still released at the end of May, but they expect this, they expected this to be a drought development likely, and that's what we're getting across some portions of Oregon. And if we look at the latest here, look at some of this activity. We are getting some severe drought showing up across portions of Northeast Oregon and Western Oregon. You got moderate drought here in the darker yellow, or whatever the orange you want to call it, and Western Washington also increasing some of its drought and abnormally dry conditions as well. The Palmer Index also shows something similar. Look at this severe drought showing up now for these slopes of the Cascades of Washington. Some moderate drought for Western Washington in the Palmer Drought Index as well. You can see that goes through June 21st, 2025. And if we go to the 6 to 10 day, kind of a mixed bag here across much of the region. That does include the 4th of July. As you saw, it's a little bit of a muddy forecast there, where a lot of uncertainty, which is to be expected at this time frame. And this 6 to 10 day, I would not put much stock in that right now as well. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Click like and subscribe. We'll break it all down again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.